Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at the option of managing multiple WordPress sites from one central control panel. Now you know if you run more than one WordPress site it can be difficult and time consuming to keep up with keeping the plugins up to date, themes up to date and WordPress itself up to date. And obviously you're not the first to have experienced that problem. So there are software options out there, plugins and software that will deal with it for you through a central control panel so you can keep your plugins, themes and WordPress updated from one place. Now there are a few systems available including ManageWP, InfiniteWP and WP Remote. The one that I'd recommend looking at and the one that we're going to cover in this video is called ManageWP. I like it because I found that it doesn't get blocked by WordFence, and that's quite important because, for example, ManageWP is a very popular one, but it's very difficult to get it set up and working correctly with your security plugins in place. The other great thing about ManageWP is there is a free level available that lets you get all the basic stuff done, and it's very quick and easy to use. Now this video isn't going to be an in-depth tutorial. What we're going to do is a quick run through of how to get it set up and running and a quick overview of the kind of things that you have available. Okay, so the first thing you do is you head over to managewp.com. So that's managewp.com. Click on the sign up free and go through the sign up process. Very simple. Put in your email, verification code, verify your email to get approved, and you will then end up on a user dashboard where you can start adding your new sites. The idea is to go through and add all your different WordPress sites so that you can control them all from this one managed dashboard. So at the moment I'm on the overview page where I can see the summary of plugins and themes that need updating on my site. Could go down to the site level and it will actually show me the different sites available. Then I can choose one of those and go through the different options available for that site. There's also an option to choose the find website from the drop down here at the top. If you click on this, it gives you the different sites that you've got set up. Choose the one you want and it will bring you into the settings for that particular site. Now there are a variety of different things you can do. Some are free, some are paid. The good thing is the backup is free, as well as the main things like updating your themes and updating your plugins. So backup is an option that you can activate. Plugins is an option where you can go through and update those. Themes likewise. Most of the rest of these options are paid, so you may not want to go for those unless you have a lot of sites and you're running them for clients and there's money coming in to pay for a service like this. But the free version will give you a lot of useful tools if you're managing multiple WordPress sites. Okay, so next let's actually have a look at adding a site to the system. So what I'm going to do is click on the plus in the top left hand corner to add a website, and I'm going to pop in the URL for this particular website, which in this case is https://dislocation.net. It's one of my test sites. I'll click on add website. It's then going to ask for the username and password. So I'm going to pause the video while I pop those in, and I'm going to blur them out because obviously I don't want to share the login details for this website. Once you've added them, simply click on add website and it will try to connect to that website. Now there is another step that we need to go through before this to make sure it works, and basically you need to wait while it goes through the establishing connection, and it can take a few minutes. So I'll pause the video while it does this. That actually completed the moment I hit pause. So that one's now added. Dislocation.net has been added just by using the username and password. So that is one option. We're going to add another website and we're going to go through the other part of the process of the setup, and we're going to show you a different option on how you can do it instead of using the username and password. So I'm going to click on add another website. I'm going to pop the URL for the site in, and I'm going to click on add website. Now this time, instead of using the username and password, I'm going to use the connection key instead. But what we're going to do is pop across to the site and actually add the plugin that needs to be on the site before we run this to the site so you can see the other part of the process. Okay, so this is in a way the first part of the process. You go to the site that you want to add to ManageWP, you log in, you go to plugins, add new, and you type in ManageWP into the search field for new plugins, and it should bring up the plugin. Here it is, ManageWP Worker. Click on install now. Once it's installed, you then click on activate. It can take a few seconds to run the install, so click on activate, and again that will take a few seconds, and once it's done you'll end up on the plugins installed page with a message at the top saying you're almost there. Now let's scroll down to the plugin itself. You can see that some of the plugins on this site need updating. That's deliberate so that I've got something to do back in ManageWP. We scroll on down, we get to ManageWP somewhere down here. Here it is. Now instead of using the username and password this time, we're going to use the connection management option. So I'm going to click on this. It brings up a box with some extra information, and what we're after is this connection key down the bottom. Now I've blurred mine out because again I don't want you connecting to my site, but it is already highlighted, and all I need to do is click click on copy and copy that into my clipboard. Then I can go back to the ManageWP setup page and we paste that in. Again, I'll blur this out, but instead of using the username and password, we're putting that connection key in. Click on add website and it will go through and find that connection for us and add that to our control panel and dashboard within ManageWP. And there we go. You can see that's now picked it up and added it. We can either click on add another website, or we can click on go to the dashboard and look at all the different sites that we've now added to our central control panel for our WordPress sites. Now, because SEOUK.com was the last site I added, that's the one that we're currently displaying. I can go back and look at the dashboard for all the sites, but it's showing that on this particular site there are 19 plugins that need updating. So all I need to do is tick the ones that I want to update, and once I've ticked them, click on the button here for update all, and it will run through and update those plugins for me remotely. So I'm not having to visit the individual site and go through and update the plugins one by one on each of my sites. It's controlled centrally from this ManageWP dashboard. The time saving here can be massive. It depends on how many WordPress sites you run, but you can see that if you start running 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 sites, the time you save will add up very, very quickly. And that's just running on the free version. If you manage WordPress sites for clients, you may well want to upgrade and use some of the paid options, because the things that you can do to manage your clients' sites for them are really, really useful, and you can actually charge your client for that. Okay, so that's a brief overview of ManageWP and how to set up your different sites in the system, and I highly recommend trying it out if you do run multiple WordPress sites. It can end up saving you a lot of time and headaches and hassles. And as I mentioned, if you run sites for clients or manage sites for clients, it can save you even more time and help you provide even more value to your clients. Again, there are other options available. This is ManageWP. There's also MainWP, InfiniteWP, WP Remote. So there are other options available. This is just the one that we found to work best with the security plugins like WordFence, and there's a lot available in the free version, so you can get up and running and play with it and get stuff done on the free version without having to pay for anything. Thanks very much for watching. Please feel free to move on to the next video.